Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. It seems like it's too late. Winter is actually here. So today's topic, we're going to be discussing the massive layoffs that are going to be coming to the media landscape. But before we do that, I want to recognize the newest subscribers within the last 24 hours, EW Reviews and Earzola. But I do want to thank you for your support, and I do want to thank all of the existing subscribers for their support. This is a small channel, so really, you all are the thing that keeps the channel going. Without further ado, let's get into today's story. Well, bad winter coming for US media. No, bad winter is here already. So it's too late already. The media is going to suffer through some bad layoffs. It's a brutal and fearful time for American media, with companies scrambling to cut costs and secure cash in a scenario reminiscent of when the plague was ubiquitous. And why it matters: the new economic reality means layoffs, it means hiring freezes, and it means other cost-cutting measures. What's driving the news? New data from Challenger, Gray, and Christmas finds that news media layoffs are beginning to tick up, and so far nearly 3,000 media jobs have been cut this year, with more than 1/3 coming from the news media industry. Now, as we well know, Twitter just laid off over 3,300 employees, so the number of media jobs that have been cut this year just doubled, and it's going to go even higher. BDG, Recount, Gannett, Recurrent, CNN, Netflix, Acast, Future, Warner Brothers Discovery, G4, and more have all announced layoffs in the past 2 months. Reading between the lines, inflation and supply chain issues have slowed down the ad market dramatically ahead of what is typically the most lucrative time of the year. Yeah, this is when, basically when companies enter into that sweet black profitability period, but not so much for many media companies this year. Snap Inc. announced plans to lay off 20% of its staff, sending shockwaves through social media industry last week when it cited a pullback in ad spending from big brands ahead of the Q4 holiday season. That is huge, and that cannot be emphasized enough. I mean, the holiday season is a huge time of the year. It's the blitz. Everybody advertises. Everybody's trying to get you to go out and buy stuff. And honestly, it's beginning to look like a lot like a very, very terrible Christmas is going to be upon us. Analysts expect the slowdown to continue well into 2023. So well into next year. One firm has cut its ad spend percentage growth projections for next year by half. So just cut that ad spending in half. And the big picture here is that plummeting ad sales have forced big media to reckon with an even bigger problem, and that is cord cutting and a slowdown in consumer spending on subscription. So of course you have the whole cord cutting. I mean, people are still getting rid of cable. They're going to streaming. But now, as I've said well before, I've covered the streaming market in the past. It is saturated. It is oversaturated. And there's simply too many platforms for people to try to subscribe to. And so people aren't going to keep all of those subscriptions simultaneously. What they're doing is rotating them. They get one, they watch some stuff that they wanted to watch, and then they get rid of it. We've got all of these different channels that people are trying to keep up with, and of course they're just not going to be able to fund them all. So consolidation is coming for the streaming market, and of course it's going to get ugly. And then that's, of course, we also have Paramount, we have Warner Brothers Discovery, which is actually two different platforms that are going to be consolidating, and they will consolidate by next year. The world's biggest entertainment companies, including Netflix, Disney, Paramount, and Warner Brothers Discovery, have all lost billions of dollars in value as Wall Street's love affair with unprofitable streaming has worn off. Additionally, news companies are seeing a significant traffic slowdown in response to what this article calls a post-Trump news cycle that's riddled with depressing headlines. I find that interesting in that, look, this guy hasn't been in office for 2 years. So yeah, you can call it a post-Trump news cycle, but you could also just call it the Biden news cycle, because again, Biden and the Democrats have had control of the presidency, the House of Representatives, and Congress for the last 2 years. Not to mention they have many governorships in many states. You know, it's just weird to ascribe things, what's happening currently, to somebody who hasn't really been a thing for 2 years now. The Washington Post is on track to lose money this year and has lost subscriptions in, of course, the Biden era. Okay, at least they said it there. The Atlantic is staring at another year of roughly 10 million in losses, and other billionaire-backed publications like the Los Angeles Times are still struggling to find their footing in this digital area. For media startups, it's a murky economic outlook, and it has created a difficult fundraising atmosphere, and it's killed a lot of any incentive to go public. Yeah, so remember what happened to BuzzFeed, but BuzzFeed just absolutely tanked after they went public. There remains one point of optimism in the industry. The New York Times continues to grow its paid subscriber base at a healthy clip. Semaphore also was able to raise $25 million ahead of an October launch, and News Corp revenues rose to a record $10.4 billion for the fiscal year ending in June. Wow, so News Corp is doing good. You know who that is, after all. So it seems like maybe a lot of people are watching that because they're fed up with what has been happening and the direction that has been heading. Now, as we can see here, Meta stock is picking back up a little bit after it looks like Facebook will be reportedly joining Twitter in massive layoffs. I know that's a bit of a terrible headline, but that shows you the attitude and the atmosphere from investors. Hard times are coming, and investors are going to be like, you need to get rid of the dead weight. You need to get rid of the bloat, or else I'm not going to keep money invested in you. So far in 2022, Meta stock has tumbled more than 72%. The company's market value has fallen by roughly $500 billion, and Zuckerberg's personally lost more than 60% of his net worth. We can see here from the Economic Times that Facebook will quietly sack 12,000 employees, or 15% of its workforce. Meta is carrying out quiet layoffs at Facebook to slash its headcount as global headwinds and falling ad spending poses serious problems for tech firms. A Business Insider report said before a recent weekly Q&A session, executives told directors across the company that they need to select at least 15% of their teams to be labeled as needs support. So what does that mean? Well, these 15% will likely be put on performance improvement plans and then be let go. So needs support roughly translates into needs to be fired. Then, of course, we have this excellent article from Mish Talk. Huge tech layoffs begin, more coming. Who's on the chopping block? Twitter kicked things off with Elon Musk firing thousands. Now Meta faces even steeper layoffs, and it won't stop there. The Jobpocalypse is arriving. Now you can see here employees laid off and companies with layoffs, and it of course peaked during the peak of the lockdowns that went on for way too long, and of course created long-term implications that we are now living with. Not to mention dumping massive amounts of freshly printed money into the economy, sent inflation through the roof, which of course we are now dealing with again in 2022 as well. Shopping today to buy a little bit of fruit and a little bit of deli meat and some bread and some cheese for sandwiches, and spent $25 on something that probably would have cost $12 or $15 a year ago. I mean, that's out of control. And, honestly, it's all because of, you're not going to like to hear this, but it's all because of the price of fossil fuel. When the cost of the fuel that enables transportation of literally all goods around the world doubles or triples, then the cost of transportation of all goods increases, which means the cost of all goods increases. Then that creates a knock-on effect. Every little piece of material, the price of everything goes up, which causes that company who uses that material to have to price their services or their products higher, which of course means that somebody else, has to increase their prices, and somebody else has to increase their prices, and so on and so on and so on. That's why we have inflation, people. Twitter X. Last Friday, Elon Musk, of course, cut about half of the company's workforce. That's approximately 3,700 jobs. Many employees didn't know until they saw their corporate access blocked. I saw some tweets in which managers didn't even know which of their subordinates had been axed, and the managers were actually sending out emails to subordinates asking if they still had access. Wow. The Wall Street Journal reports that Facebook parent Meta is preparing to notify employees of large-scale layoffs this week. The layoffs are expected to affect many thousands of employees, and expect to see it announced as soon as Wednesday. Yeah, the planned layoffs would be the first broad headcount reduction to occur in the company's 18-year history. It's a long time coming, honestly. The Jobpocalypse, I mean, it's not coming. It's here. Layoff momentum continues to build. Pandora is laying off 18%. Stripe is laying off 14%. Lyft is laying off 13%. These are not small cuts, nor are these small companies. The Jobpocalypse isn't arriving. It is here. Malinvestment. Another tweet from Adam Taggart. There's been a lot of malinvestment within the tech industry. Lots of easy money resulted in a lot of jobs that never should have existed in the first place. Dorsey and Zuckerberg have both admitted to this recently, and as a result, a lot of these jobs that are being lost now are never coming back. Good times are over. The party is done. Additionally, it's getting really ugly in Europe. Contagion is spreading like an out-of-control forest fire. We see this tweet here. Declines in German factory orders are widespread and come from everywhere. Inside Germany, outside Germany, Eurozone orders are down huge in September, off 8% month over month. This German factory orders, we can see, of course, the impact that the lockdowns had. And then, of course, we see this bounce that we get here. But guess what? They don't call it a dead cat bounce for nothing. It jumps up and it must jump back down and it must bounce off the floor. Trust me, it's going to happen. We've been telling you, you didn't believe us, and that's not good at all. Tech companies, of course, are firing their contractor workforce first. That's why you aren't seeing massive layoffs with these misses in earnings. And of course, you can see this from Amazon. This right here to my network and beyond. It has been another rough few weeks as we have had to make the hard decision to reduce our contractor workforce again. Below you'll find some incredible RC talent that I'd love to help find a new home. It's not going to happen. They are passionate, talented, and ready to work hard. Let's help them find their next dream job. Sorry, they just got let go from their dream job. And given the fact that a lot of these dream jobs are never coming back, yeah, I mean, it does not look good for them. Here's another little blurb. So look, don't watch the unemployment rates for stress, watch full-time jobs. So here we have full-time employment minus 490,000 since March of this year. So that means we gained some jobs, but we lost a lot of jobs. We lost a lot more jobs than we gained. And of course, employment fell by 328,000 in October. Full-time employment down 490,000 since March, but it's down even more since May. So there have been a lot more jobs lost just in the last few months, just over the summer, down 572,000 since May. So the last quarter has not been kind at all. And look, I mean, it's going to continue. This is going to continue to have knock-on effects for, well into 2023. So look, what can you do about it? How can you help your friends? All I could say is, look, the only thing you can do right now is go out, and considering that today is November 8th, go out and vote. So again, this is completely up to you. I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just telling you facts here about what has been going on and what is coming. So it's up to you to make the decision on where we go from here. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and that if you want to continue to support the channel, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, the way our economy has been smashed lately, which is not a positive thing, but it's definitely getting smashed, then please click the like, share, and subscribe buttons. We're currently pushing for 1,000 subscribers, closing in on 700, so if you do enjoy the content, then please do subscribe. It does help. In addition, you can join the Patreon, link in the description below for access to exclusive content down there. That's all I have for now, so I will see you in the next video. Hopefully it's a more positive one than this. Have a great day.